I haven't plugged in my mic. Darn it. Here, let's fix that. Don't mind me. Hi. Hi. I'm an expert and I do this for a living. Yeah, there's nothing to see here. We're all pros. I also don't have my glasses on, so I can't see where I'm plugging this in. Bam! Ha ha!
Check. Can you hear me? Yes. Fantastic. All right, here we go. All right, so my intention was to make this video for you on Thursday, but I didn't do it. So it's on Friday. We need a we need a name for this series. So my plan is to go live with you once a week. And I'm looking over to the other screen because I want to make sure that this is showing up live in the right places. So give me just one sec while we check that out. Oh, I can see a couple of you are here. So fantastic. It must be working. We'll just go with that. If you're joining in on Facebook, there is a little code that I'm going to give you so that if you happen to chat with me, you'll be able to, I'll be able to see what you write. So let me think about where I can put that you'll be able to see it. We'll try it here. It also might be in the description if I did my jammy jam right. So we'll see if that works. And here it is. If it didn't, it's in the bottom left-hand side of your screen. All this will do is let me see your name if you happen to type something in, and I would super, super love to get some comments. So let's kick it off. On our lives, we're going to be much more cash than I would in a normal training video, and I'm still kind of working out the structure, but here's what I'm thinking. I think that it's going to start with kind of what's new in telehealth. So we'll talk through that. I'm looking over at my notes here. A product to share because I'm a sharer. And if I'm using something cool, I want to tell you all about it. Oh, I definitely have to have the ear thing in. Sounds super weird without it. And then I often will get a question in one of my paid for programs that I know would benefit everybody else to hear about. So I'll bring one of those questions in as well. Usually in these conversations, some new business idea comes up that I'm not taking action on, but you guys might want to. So we'll talk about one of those as well. And it's also going to be a time when we can talk about more personal stuff. So, what's kind of going on with balance in my own life? I'll share some personal insights. I will often ask for product recommendations as well. And then we're going to have a whole series on productivity. So, sometimes I'll be hinting at what's coming up in that series. So, let's go ahead and jump on in. The newest thing going on in telehealth is around ChatGPT. I'm sure you have all heard about it by now. It is just every freaking where and all of the kind of affiliates of that, right? It's not the only one out there. There's Jasper, there's all sorts of companies doing this. But if you've not had the opportunity to interact with and play with ChatGPT, this is definitely something that you want to take some time to do. It's not difficult at all. There are all sorts of trainings out there. Sheree Lachou has a training coming out about it. I'll link it down below as soon as I have access to that code. But it's basically a form of AI that you can interact with in normal everyday speak. So you might say something to it like, and you can ask it to do things for you, is the point here. So it can really help with your marketing. So if you know that you need to have a blog coming out once a quarter so that you can help get your SEO up on your website, but really like at the end of a clinical day, the idea of coming up with blog content, outlining it, writing it, editing it, looking for keywords, uploading it, turning it, blah, 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 your brain shuts down. ChatGPT could be your friend. So you can type in there something like, hey, please write me a blog in casual language about the symptoms of panic disorder or panic attacks and what people can do to get some help. And it will write the damn blog. Now, a few things that you should know. Number one, you got to fact check ChatGPT. it's just AI, right? It's searching the internet and it's kind of making some assumptions, and all the facts are not going to be correct. For example, when I asked it about what are some reasons people might not want to do telehealth, like what are some objections to telehealth, it talked about how important touch and hugs are in therapy and how you can't do that in telehealth. So I had to laugh about that. So sometimes it's going to get facts wrong, not a lot. And so you'll need to go through and fact check the darn thing. The writing is exceptional. It's written in normal people language. If it's above that, you can say, hey, can you simplify this for me? And it will rewrite it. If you have some catchphrases that you always do, you can say, hey, could you rewrite this and include catchphrases like whatever your catchphrases are? It will put them in there. It's freaking amazing. And it does it in like 60 seconds. So the other piece, so number one, fact check. Number two, if what you're asking it is something that's more fact based, like who was the founder of EMDR or something like that, or tell me the history of EMDR. You not only want to fact check, but you also want to check the citations. So you can ask it, please give me the citations for this, and it will give those to you. And you want to double check because sometimes it will credit sources that aren't accurate. So if somebody else has written online and they covered the history of EMDR, the AI doesn't necessarily know that they're not the original source. So that's another thing to check. The reality is most of our blogs aren't covering facts. Most of them are like, how to heal from recent grief, or what are the feelings of grief you might have on an anniversary date, things like that. They're not like researchy based. So these things aren't going to come up a whole lot for us in our blogging. The third thing to know is that anything created in ChatGPT or any of these AIs belong to that company. So you definitely, and for other reasons, want to make sure that you go through and edit it with your own language. Now, this does not mean you need to change 80% of it, but it does mean you need to go through and make sure that it's in your voice. Not only because we don't want to get in a situation where we're putting something out that belongs to a company, although I think that that's going to be a moot point down the road, but we're still too early in it to be able to know for sure. But also just from like a marketing point of view, if the content that you're putting on your website doesn't speak in the language that your flow client, your ideal client would really resonate with, then they're going to read it and they're not going to be attracted to you, right? They're going to be like, okay, so that was just some information on the internet, right? We want it to really be in your language, in the language that would resonate with your flow client. ChatGPT is really good at picking up your language. So you could even copy and paste some content in there and say, hey, this is my language. Could you rewrite that blog in my language? And it will rewrite that blog in your language. And then you can just go through and gussy it up. The other piece that you should be thinking about in terms of making it a little bit more your own is that there is some suspicions that down the line, Google will be able to tell the difference between AI generated content and human generated content and will give a preference in terms of SEO to human generated content. We have no idea, but that seems like a reasonable hypothesis. So one more reason to gussy it up and make it your own. Many therapists are afraid that they're going to get in trouble for plagiarism. So they don't know where ChatGPT got this information, right? It could be from their fellow therapist website and 20 others. So if you're concerned about that, you can go to Google and say free plagiarism check, and it will come up with tools for you. You can copy and paste the material into the plagiarism check. It will find any overlaps for you and you can clean those up. So no need to worry about that. Keep your eyes on this, y'all. You know how sometimes there's tech that comes and goes and you're like, glad I didn't waste my time on that. This isn't going to be one of those. This is purely my conjecture, but this is one of those things that's a game changer. This is like when social media first came about. This is when the internet first came about. This is pretty incredible that AI is being able to reflect human tone, human conversation in ways that, is mind-blowing, exciting, and a little bit scary. So get in on it. Make sure that you at least are exposing yourself to it to understand it. Okay. All right. Let's move on. That's what was new in telehealth. Product recommendations. You know, I am a freaking sharer. I love to give you stuff that is helpful. So, I want to share with you a massage chair insert, I guess. I don't know. It's not like a full massage chair because who has room for that in their house? Not me. So, I wanted a massage chair because sitting at the desk all day, it's just very hard not to slip into bad posture, to hold tension in your neck, especially all the stories that we hold as therapists. So, the other side tangent on this is we were about to go on a 3 to 4 day road trip, and I knew that that was going to be a problem for my back. So I was looking for a chair that I could use kind of post therapy and maybe bring on this road trip. Y'all, it did not work for the road trip because it was way too damn big, but it totally works at home. Let me see if I can share my screen with you. Um, you can do it, Amber. You can do it. Let's see. I don't want to add source. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. All right. So this is the chair. It looks like this, and I'm clicking on the wrong buttons. One of the important things for me was that it had the shiatsu style massage. I didn't just want it to vibrate, and I didn't just want it to be hot. It also has these cool air pockets that create pressure that feels so freaking good. And it also has some heat in the back. I love this thing. I use it usually I use it like every other week, but then when I do use it, I use it for 3 days at a time because I'm having some sort of issue. The downside that I will say to you is that in order for the shiatsu to work well, the back of this baby has to be hard. So you do need a space to put it when you're done. So the bottom folds up, but the top, it's a little bit space consuming. So just make sure that you have a spot to store it. I like to live in small homes. So I'm like, it's going behind the couch for me. That's where it's getting stored. Worth every freaking penny. And right now there's a $25 off coupon. Let me see it. Let me grab the code for you. And heads up that anytime I am sharing something from Amazon, I'm an Amazon affiliate and I will always share my affiliate link because I'm not a dummy. Um, yeah, I make pennies for it, so whatever, but still whatever, we'll take what we can get, right? So this is the code to get it. I don't think if I put it in the chat you can see it, but I'll try that out. We're still learning software around here. So if you need a massage chair, it's $25 off right now, or at least it is on my Amazon. I don't know if that's consistent for everybody, but it's freaking badass. I love, 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 love it. And you know how like these chairs are often made for men's size people. So on this chair, you can actually adjust where the massage bally things are located. So like the neck one is way too high for me. I can just push a button and it slides down. So I love this bad boy. It makes life a lot better. I may have used it too aggressively last night and bruised myself, but it was totally worth it. All right, let's slide into business ideas. You know that I love me a good business idea. This is one for private practice, and it is a private pay based idea. So my cousin's daughter, who's basically like my niece, that's the way it works in my family. She's having a baby, and I'm so excited. And so I was thinking about gifts for her and how cool it would be to be able to offer something really meaningful that's mom focused and not baby focused. And of course, I thought about therapy. And then I was like, well, I don't know that she needs therapy, but she might need like mentorship, wellness checks, that kind of thing, but by a mental health professional. So I had the idea of like, how cool would it be if there was a way to purchase a package for her? And this is the business idea, y'all. Take it, run with it. To purchase a package for her that was, like for mental health check-ins or 4 mental wellness check-ins, right? So 30-minute consultations with somebody specializing in perinatal mental health. Maybe somebody who could say like, this is what to expect, like in the first 2 weeks, this is what to expect in the next month, this is what to expect in the following month. Just somebody who knows something about what's coming, the things that we don't typically talk about, and they could give her some educational resources and then have like a little check-in. I just thought it would be such a cool gift. And if it's under like the $200 price point, a really easy gift for people to give to someone that they're close to and someone that they love a whole lot. And then I thought that would be kind of a cool inroad for the mom to be able to then say like, "Ooh, I really like this therapist. I want to go deeper. I want to get more support." And they can always upgrade and get more. So that's just a thought that might be helpful. If you want to have that in your business, there's actually a post inside of the online therapist group about it. And while we don't normally allow promotions, if you have something like this, find that post. You can use the search tool and look for niece, and that post will come up. And then just drop in your offer. Now, what would be even freaking cooler, and this would require a higher level of coordination, and I'm not going to do it. So take it and run with it if that's you, is if there was a way to purchase like a voucher, a coupon that she and others obviously could apply to any of the therapists that they pick. So maybe 10 of you get together and you're all perinatal specialists and supports. And I'm sure there's some way to do this on the tech side, right? I don't know what it is. But you could say, like, listen, if she comes to me with this voucher, and she gets to look at all of your websites and pick the person that she feels most connected to and then apply that voucher to your work, you get paid because the voucher comes to you, right? That would be super cool, because how is somebody who's purchasing a gift like this supposed to know what kind of therapist or mental health wellness person would be the best fit that this person might resonate with? So it's a really cool idea to get it, and perhaps the two will really mesh. But even cooler if you could give this kind of like voucher coupon, and they could apply it to any one of 5 or any one of 10 people. They could pick their own person. So anyway, if you are excited about that idea and want to run with it, please do, and then let me know, because I'm going to be in the market for a gift. Hey Mina, if you're watching, I'm thinking about you. All right, let's talk about balance. So we're sliding into a little bit more personal stuff. I don't know about y'all, but I love the idea of not having a lot of stuff, and I get overwhelmed by stuff. I also really like the dopamine hit that I get from ordering a solution to something on Amazon, even if the solution is to a problem that I have created in my own mind. Like, man, if I only had that scrubber, then all of my issues in the kitchen would be fixed, right? I know, I know. So there are kind of two pieces that we have to work on. One is the acquiring piece and the dopamine hit. We're not talking about that today. The second is the like getting rid of shit that you're not actually using. And I know for many of us, it's clothing. So I have done the KonMari method. And what I stuck with was like my drawers are organized as hell, y'all. They look good and they have stayed that way. But honestly, like no matter how organized you are, if you have too much stuff, it's never going to be truly, truly like a nice organized thing, because there's just too much shit. So I saw this other method online and I used it probably 6 months, maybe a year ago, and it was freaking awesome and I loved it. Um, Last night I decided to use that method again and was maybe a little overly optimistic about how quickly I could move through the method. If I could pull up the picture, I bet you I can't, because I just took it yesterday. And for some reason, the photos thing doesn't work like immediately. I will just see real quick if it will come up. It's terrifying. I probably shouldn't. It probably is a bad idea to show it to you. Oh, good. It's not coming up. Oh, darn. I'm so sad about that. I know. I know. You're really disappointed. I'm going to look in one more place because that's my commitment to you. Where are the pictures? Would it be a JPEG? Yeah, it would be a JPEG. JPEG. I think. Don't come up, don't come up, don't come up, don't come up. I think it would be on the Google Drive, right? I don't know how to find stuff. It's not gonna happen. Oh darn, oh darn. I know. We're all very deeply disappointed. Anyway, so what you do is you pull out all your stuff, you throw it on the bed. Is this sounding familiar? Yeah. So fortunately, I did not empty the dresser drawers. Hallelujah. But I did empty my closet. And what you do here is a little bit different. So you're not actually trying to get rid of stuff. If you happen to come across stuff that you're like, ew, about time to get rid of it, cool, that's a bonus. But that's not the goal. The goal is that we are going to put into like storage, basically into those big, I call them Tupperware containers. I don't know what the heck they're called. We're going to put stuff into those like a save for later, like 6 months later, we're going to see how did I fare? Did I get by in the world with the clothes that I left in my closet, or did I super miss this outfit that I put in the box, right? So you go through that pile, and all you're looking for is, I can't live without this piece of clothing. It's either one of those pieces of clothing that you wear all the freaking time, or one of those pieces of clothing that you just really love. So that was the plan last night, and I only had an hour. I don't know what I was thinking. It was such a freaking mess, and it's still a mess. It's like, nah, it's not good. But the method really, really works. So I have my big Tupperwares out. I do not think about that piece though. I'm just going through the clothes and pulling out the like, oh, I love this piece. I can't live without it. Or I wear this all the freaking time. And even though it's not cute, I still need to keep it in rotation because I wear it all the time. You put all of those clothes back in your closet. And what's so nice about it, there are two things really. One is a lot of us have clothes that we really, really like, but they're just not in a regular rotation for whatever reason. They're not right in front of our face. This leaves them right in front of your face. Instead of your clothes being all packed together, you can't find anything. And so you just go with what you're used to. It's almost like it's highlighted, like you're like, open your closet and you're like, oh my God, I love that jacket. Why am I not wearing that? Right. And you wear it. And then the other piece, I just totally forgot because it went out of my head. Whatever. There's less to choose from. So it's less overwhelming to go to your closet because you just look in, there's much less stuff. So I would say that I left more than I would have liked. I would say probably, I'm looking over at my closet, probably 40%. I would have been super stoked if I had left like 25%, but probably 40, and then 60% is put away in boxes. For those of you who have actual seasons, this is a little bit different for you, right? You're going to have to go through this each season. But 6 months from now or 3 months from now, I'm going to go back through those clothes in my closet. And if I still am in love with them, cool, they stay. If I thought I was in love with them, but I never wear them because I was only in love with them when I saw the model wearing them, it doesn't look like that on me, or I'm not comfortable in that, then we're getting rid of it. And then you get the Tupperware out and you kind of are like, yeah, I didn't miss this piece of clothing at all. It can go. It makes it easier to let go of things. All right. Last piece before we wrap up for today, productivity. So I'm going to hint at this part in the video about productivity hacks. And then we're going to do another video later on some of the ways to work through productivity. But I need to know from you guys what you need help with. You know how when you're good at a thing, this is going to sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but that was not the intention. Toot, toot. When you're pretty good at a thing, you don't realize what comes naturally to you doesn't come naturally to other people. I think that some of that is happening as I try to come up with the productivity ideas for you. So let me know where you get stuck in the comments with getting shit done and getting the shit done that actually matters. I know for me, I've not had a problem with getting a lot done, but what I've had a problem with is getting the right things done. So I would find myself having worked hard all day and then look back at my day and be like, like, I still have 80 million things to do. What did I do with my day? So if that's you, that's super helpful to know because I can help you identify the needle movers so that you're doing the things that actually matter. And we can talk through ways for you to figure out what the needle movers are and to prioritize those over maybe the kind of like easier things or the busy work kinds of things. When I talk about planners with and planning with my course members, I have learned that a lot of y'all don't even use planners. I'm sorry, how are you running your life? I don't get it. Do you just have a lot more brain space than I do? Because listen, this brain here compartmentalizes really well. And something that's very important will go into a drawer in my head and it disappears. And it can be 6 months later. And I'm like, did I pay the tax bill? Did I? Oh, shit. Right. So for me, it's not even an option. I got to have a planner. I need my to do list. And it's also fun for me. I enjoy it. Occasionally, I can slide into planning. That's a whole thing. But mostly, it's really been very helpful. So, Hala, what do you need in terms of your productivity assistance? And I will talk to you next week. I'm going to try to do these either on Wednesday or Thursday. I'd really prefer to do them on Thursday, but I want to call it What's Up Wednesdays. Clever, right? Let me know if you've got friggin' ideas for the title of these lives because I really clearly do not. All right, friends, I will talk to you soon. I hope that this was helpful. I also hope that was kind of fun, right? All right, have a really great week.